You're listening to the best local sports show. Boots, Bats and Balls on Six Towns Radio.
Hello and welcome to another Six Towns Radio interview with me, Ross Hancock. This week we're joined by Stoke City captain Ryan Shawcross and winger Michael Kightly. The pair are making an appearance at Knypersley Cricket Club alongside Chief Executive Tony Scholes and their newly appointed Mark Cartwright. We'll also be speaking to Jon Slaney of the Knypersley Sports Club committee regarding his views on the current situation. You join us after a disappointing 1-0 defeat at home to West Ham. Do you think it's fair to say that they put in a very Stoke-like performance of the weekend? Yeah,
it was quite an even game. Both teams played similar football. It was always going to take just one goal to win the game, and unfortunately for us they got it, but we still created chances. We had a few penalty claims, but it was just one of their games. But we look to the next game now and hopefully get a victory.
And 2 months ago, of course, the 3-1 against Liverpool, probably the highlight of the season. But now, 9 games later, 7 losses, just the 1 win. What's changed in those 2 months?
Yeah, it's football. It's the Premier League. You go through runs of doing well. Stoke traditionally always go in runs of good form and then bad form, and at the moment we're on a bit of a dip, but it can soon change around with a couple of results.
Do you feel as captain you share some responsibility to sort of galvanise the team somewhat?
Yeah, I'm captain of the club, but there's also a lot of experienced players there, and we all know what we need to do to get a victory at Newcastle. So we go into the game low on confidence, hoping to improve, and the gaffer will be all this week trying to get us buzzing and get that confidence up, because after a few bad results the confidence was there, but as I said, 1 victory and it all changes around.
I think it's fair to say you've got a bit of a bromance with a certain German man, Robert Huth. You weren't partnered by him on Saturday, partnered by Mark Wilson. How do you think he fared on Saturday?
He did very well, considering the long-term injury he had to come back. He put a very steady performance in and kept Andy Carroll pretty quiet, which is no mean feat.
And obviously if you impress the manager, he'll partner you on Sunday as well. How do you feel about Sunday's fixture?
Another tough game. Away games haven't been our greatest points tally this year, so it's something we need to improve on, but we've got 5 away games this year and 5 home, and hopefully we can improve on that away games.
Michael, you spent 6 years at Molineux. How tough was it to leave Wolves, especially after they'd stood by you through injury?
Yeah, it was very tough. People don't realise how tough that was. I was very upset to leave the club, but it was something I felt I had to do rather than that I wanted to do. And that's football. As I said, I love the club to bits, and I want to see the club do really well. And hope, you never know, one day I might be back there.
And obviously now you're at Stoke. How did you find the game at the weekend, and what's happening with the form?
Yeah, obviously. It was not a good game and not a good result. As you said, form's not been great recently, but it's something that we're going to work on, which we do work on every day, and hopefully we'll turn it around.
Now I'm joined by Jon Slaney on the committee of Knypersley Sports Club. Jon, how long have you been supporting Stoke now, sorry?
Since 63, which a long time.
50 years?
Yeah, 50 years plus.
50 years.
Yeah.
So in that 50 years, have you ever known the club be this high?
No, well, we've been very close a few times back in the Waddington era, but never in the Premiership. This is the first outing in the Premiership, if you like.
So obviously 50 years, you've seen the rise from the Championship and Division 2 to the Premiership.
Right, yes.
So what have you made of Mr Pulis?
Oh, I love Mr Pulis. I think he's the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, the debate between him and Waddo, there's no question for me. Mr Pulis is the main man.
And obviously, before about 2 months ago, everything was all rosy, but now 9 games later, everyone seems to go into panic stations.
I mean, we tend to forget the very dark days before we did the Championship, when we, the Alan Ball days, when we were real down and out, and cup games, Blythe Spas beating us and things like that. For me, we've come on leaps and bounds.
Do you feel there's any major problems, and if so, what do you think needs to change?
I don't think there's any great major problems. If he's left alone to do his job, I feel sure he'll do a good job and sort it out. Of course, a lot depends on the chairman and his personal fortune, of course, how much he wants to keep plodding in.
Obviously, tonight is a community event. What do you make of the community trust? Are you aware of what they do?
Yes, roughly, yeah. I think it's a very good idea, yeah.
And finally, prediction ahead of Sunday's game in Newcastle. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it'll be a tough one again. As a diehard Stoke fan, you always live in hope. Yeah, your heart says, yeah, we'll sneak something. Your head says, ooh, it's going to be difficult.